Recently, something notable happened in China public discourse. Luo Yonghao was publicly criticized by People's Daily and labeled a so-called black mouse. And almost at the same time, part of his equity was frozen by the court. Two major events occurring nearly simultaneously. Many people are asking a simple question. Was this just a coincidence? Today, I'm going to analyze this from a Chinese official narrative. Instead, I want to approach this story from an international, particularly American, analytical perspective and explain why this case has raised so many eyebrows. If he spoke facts, why label him a black mouse? From an American observer's point of view, the most puzzling part of the story is not what Luo Yonghao said, but how the official media responded. Most of the issue Luo Yonghao discussed revolved around consumer experience and business practice. These were not abstract accusations, and many of them were verifiable. In the typical Western media environment, if a public finger spread misleading, the standard response is straightforward. Our issue of public clarification. But that's not what happened here. Instead of baiting facts, the response focused on questioning the speaker's motives, branding him as malicious. In American discourse, this is usually seen as a red flag, because the conversation shifts from "is what you said true" to "who you are to say." That's not rebuttal. That's categorization. To be clear, equity phrase can't have legitimate legal ground. They can stem from outstanding debts, enforcement actions, commercial disputes. This happens in many countries. However, international political analysis likely is not the only question. The more important question is, why now? When a legal mechanism exists for a long time, but is activated at a political sensitive moment, and targets someone who was just publicly criticized. From an American analytical standpoint, this naturally invents skepticism. That's a well-known saying in political science. The problem is rarely whether the law exists. The problem is rarely whether the law exists, but how selectively it is enforced. That's why many observers are reluctant to accept pure coincidence as a citizen explanation. What does official media actually prioritize? Zooming out, this case may be less about Luo Yonghao as an individual and more about structural priorities. In many systems, including China's, large companies represent jobs, tax, and economic stability. Consumers are fragmented and decentralized. Public opinion is often treated as a risk factor. When a high-profile figure speaks from the consumer's perspective, challenges corporate behavior, and rapidly amplify public sentiment, she may no longer be as telling the truth, but rather as introducing instability. From an international perspective, this trade-off is not unique, but the concept of red rhetoric. Order consistently outweigh true, leaving fewer protect space for factual criticism. Why are so many Chinese netizens defending him? Some assume that people are simply supporting Luo Yonghao, but from American analytical lens, the reaction goes deeper. People are not just defending him, they are imaging themselves. What many netizens see is a pattern. Public criticism gains traction, official media intervene, and personal essays face restrictions. This triggers a very natural question. If this can happen to someone with his visibility, what about ordinary people? In political theory, this is often described as symbolic punishment. Its purpose is rarely just about one individual. It sends a message to everyone else about where the boundaries are. So from an international perspective, the core issue here is not whether Luo Yonghao was right or wrong. The real question is when factual criticism clashes with commercial, international, and system stability, what does the society choose to protect first? This is not a problem unique to China, but in this case, the tension is usually visible. I'm Malone.